I've shot like 40 podcasts, but then there's only 16 out, so the numbers are a little off.
Yeah.
But no, it's really fun though.
Oh yeah. My niece and her husband are actually really famous YouTubers.
Really? What's her name?
Your Average Consumer.
What do they talk about?
Tech stuff mainly. They're out of New York, so and it's pretty wild to just see their numbers and what have you, and within minutes of him posting something,
They'll get hundreds or even thousands of views, right?
Right, yes, and it's a little intimidating, So.
Do you do anything with YouTube or any videos like that?
Who do I?
Yeah.
I have a YouTube channel.
That's good.
I'm on all the social media platforms, but it's just, what have I done with them? Nothing. So eventually I'm going to be having you help me with all
But you're just trying to build up to that point for your future projects.
Right. Originally, a couple years ago, I took a week and set up my Facebook in a week and set up my YouTube and Twitter and all of that kind of stuff, and then just never did anything with it. So it's all set up, and I have the followers. Just haven't done anything with it. Yeah. So.
And by the way, this is Cece. Haven't even introduced her yet. This is rolling. Rolling. It's very raw, very natural. So, if you could just give the people, let's take a step back from, let's say, your high school, college years. Did you go to college, or I think you went to the military?
Yes.
Yeah, let's just go back to there and we'll work our way up to today.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually come from a really well-to-do family. I was raised with 3 brothers and 2 parents, and I was absolutely loved and adored as a child, being the only girl. Went into the military, and after the military, that's when I went into college. I went to Converse College in South Carolina. Had an amazing time there. Went back into the military, and then I made some really bad decisions. So right around that time, I was early 30s at that point. And so that's kind of like my early years, great childhood and everything. And just made some really, really bad decisions.
So what branch of the military were you in?
The Marines.
Oh, really?
The Marines, yeah.
And have you taken any habits or things that you learned from the Marines into your daily life? With regards to waking up early or discipline, things like that?
Definitely I have. I usually wake up every morning by 4:30, definitely by 5:30.
Really?
I'm awake. I am awake and ready
to
go.
You're supposed to wake up when the sun rises. That's what it's all about. It's your circadian rhythm. Your body will just naturally wake up. It just wants to wake up when there's light outside. But you're waking up when it's dark, and you're probably going to sleep like at 8 or something because you have to get your 8 hours of sleep. So I don't know. I've always found that it's interesting when people, they wake up so early, but then people don't realize they have to go to sleep really early as well. I mean, if you want at least 6 or 7 hours, you have to go to sleep at 8 or 9 o'clock.
Well, I guess that's true, but the idea is that I wake up so early so that when the sun comes up, I'm ready to go.
Okay.
I'm definitely ready to go.
I think that's the difference between just certain generations, because then my generation will wake up at 10, but then go to sleep at 2 or 3. And it's like we're up for the same amount of hours, but the people that wake up earlier, they're looked at as more productive and just they're doing more things, but it just depends on what your work is, what your schedule is. It's interesting.
And I think that we need to take the judgment out of that kind of thinking, because it's really just what works for you. For me, I am much more productive in the mornings. The joke is every afternoon between 2 and 4, I'm probably taking a nap.
There we go.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I can continue and go to bed probably around midnight. So it doesn't matter, what time I wake up or go to sleep. It's really, what am I doing?
So you go to sleep at like 11 or 12 and then wake up at 4:30?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so crazy. Yeah. Last time I went to sleep at 3:30.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I went to sleep at 3:30. Tried to wake up at 6:30. Wasn't going to happen. I woke up like at 8:30 or something.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I love naps though, but I just feel sometimes if it's over 20 or 30 minutes, it's like, ugh. Then you get that, you almost feel, your body thinks you're going to sleep, and then you wake up groggy, and then the rest of your day's done. Yeah, it depends. You nap for 2 hours?
Okay, I relaxed for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe not fully asleep,
Yeah.
but definitely relaxing, walking away from the computer, putting down all the papers and everything, and maybe taking a walk, meditating, or going to sleep. So, but that 2 hour period is just mine. Like, nothing productive gets done.
Gotcha.
During that time, right?
So then so you went to the military, then you went to college, then you went back to the military, and you made some mistakes. So then what was your time you were incarcerated?
Right, okay. Right. So my bad decisions led to me being incarcerated. Okay. And I was incarcerated for 2 years. And of that time, I spent about almost a year in what we call the hole, or in solitary confinement.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
How was that? Because you see it on it's such a simple question, but you see it on TV and people the guards are saying get in the hole, and is that how it actually is? Like, is it just dark 23 hours a day? Or how does that work?
No, it's not dark.
Okay.
It's actually light. They never turn off the lights.
Oh, okay. So even when you're trying to sleep?
Even when you're trying to sleep, the lights are on. At least in the facility that I was in, the lights were on 24 hours a day. So even till this day, that was back in the late 90s. I think 99. And to this day, I cannot sleep in the dark. I mean, it has to be. So
that habit stayed with you until now?
Stayed with me, right.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. And it's funny, I don't consider myself claustrophobic, but I cannot sleep with any curtains or any blinds on the windows. So everything is just wide open. And people will look at my bedroom and they'll go Cece, anybody can look in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are they going to see? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. So, yeah.
So you go to sleep with the lights on and everything?
I wouldn't say the lights on,
okay,
but there's no covering on the window. I mean, yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. So then you were there for 2 years and then you got out. What did you do after that?
Well, when you get out, when you're leaving prison, they actually give you 2 weeks to get a job, or they send you back. At least they did at my time.
Really?
Back then. And so it's kind of crazy because here I am coming out of prison. Yes, I have, a college education. And then they give me 2 weeks to get a job. Regular people can't get a job in 2 weeks. So I ended up working at a local pancake house as a server. Which, let me tell you, I think they still talk about me. I was the worst server ever.
Why? Why the worst? You just didn't like it, or you just weren't good at it?
I wasn't good at it. I didn't like it. I'm coming out of basically a room with 4 walls, and all of a sudden I'm in a restaurant with people screaming at me. Their food isn't right. How comes it's taking so long? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. So it really was not a good situation. So I was dropping food, messing up orders.
How long did you stay there?
Just before they fired me. So
you didn't quit and be like, see you guys, I'm going on to do different things? They're you're out of here.
Yeah, but I mean, I really think that they were ready to fire me, but I quit before.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it was it was a very, very short time. Very, very short time.
And then you said, did you graduate from college?
No, I didn't actually graduate because when all this stuff happened to me, I think I had 2 semesters left.
Okay.
And I really do think that I should go back. Just haven't done it yet.
Gotcha. So then, did you find it difficult to find a consistent job after getting out of prison?
No. What happened? And it always says good stories start with, well, you see, what had happened was. But I was always a photographer. Ever since I was a kid, photography's always been my passion. Or not passion, but something I enjoy doing. I enjoy doing it. And there was another server, and she said to me, she's like, I don't have a lot of money. I have $500. Would you shoot my wedding for me? Now, at the time, I was making $2.15 an hour plus tips.
Wow.
So you can imagine, even after working a whole 40-hour work week, that didn't come to $500. And I was like, really? All you've got is $500 for me to shoot your wedding? She's like, yes, would you please shoot my wedding? And I was like, well, okay,
yeah,
for
we'll
you.
Make it happen.
Yeah, I can make it happen.
But in your mind, you were like, $500?
$500?
For like a day or two of work, maybe?
It was like a couple hours.
Yeah.
It was a couple hours worth of work. And that's how I ended up leaving that job, switched over to photography full time, and never looked back.
So you've been doing it full time since? Mm-hmm. And how many years is that?
Since 2008. Yeah. Wow. 2008, yeah.
So then, are you a freelancer, or do you have your own company? Do you have other people working for you? Or
I have my own company, and I take on photographers if I need them. So we had done a wedding that was 850 people.
Wow.
It was 850 seated guests. The other guests had to just walk around because there were just no more chairs. And it was a 3-day wedding. So yes, we hired on other photographers. And, it really depends on the couple and their personality. So I'll just pull photographers to match the personality and what have you.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
And what's the most challenging part of having a photography business? Is it as glamorous as it might seem on TV, or does it depend on the job, or does it depend on the client you're working with? What's the most challenging part of having that specific business?
It's all of those. It's all of those combined. Sometimes we'll do a job where we're on our feet constantly. All day. And that it just gets to be back-breaking, literally back-breaking. But then, other time, overall, it's a lot of fun. It absolutely is.
What's the best part about it? What's your favorite part of having a photography business?
The food. The food.
Because you mainly do weddings, right?
I do weddings. Okay. I do headshots. I do events. But at all of them, they feed us, so we're getting good food all the time. Right, yes.
Gotcha. And then how I actually know you is through Toastmasters.
Right.
And how did you first get involved in Toastmasters? Because it seems like when you do speeches, you've been doing it for a decade or so. But how long have you actually... I actually don't know this. When did you get involved in Toastmasters? And tell me a little bit about that journey and why you got involved.
I started Toastmasters April 2016.
Okay.
So just a little over 2 years. But to back it up a bit, in my photography business, I hired a coach, and I was saying, okay, I need to take my business to the next level. And they were like, okay, then you need to start speaking. And I was like, oh, okay. And they were like, no, you can't be saying all those so's and arms and wells and having those crazy pauses. Go to Toastmasters. And that's what I did. And because of that, then I started pulling my prison experience into the mix. And so now I just speak all over on the prison experience, most so than the photography.
Than the business side of things.
Right.
And how many events or how many speaking engagements have you done?
I usually do about 3 to 4 a week.
Really?
Yes.
A week?
A week.
Okay. So that's almost like a business in itself.
It's a business in itself, and we've actually had to separate the two. Yeah.
I wish I can get to that point. I do a speech every 2 or 3 months.
No. I think once you put it out there to the universe that's what you want to do, it will happen. People just start calling you and asking you your thoughts on things, and you're like, I don't really have a thought on that particular thing, and they're like, no, we want to hear from you. We want to know what you think. So
what are some of the main things that you speak about? You said it's mostly about your prison experience.
It's the prison experience, but more so, how did I get over being in solitary confinement? How did I create the life that I have now? And I'm not sure if you're familiar with the law of attraction.
Yep.
Right. And so to me, that's what comes into play. I didn't want to go back to prison. And so I started thinking about, what kind of life do I want? I didn't want to have to explain to people that I had been to prison when I was asking for a job, when I went for a job interview. So now I don't mind speaking about that prison experience, but I speak on it from a different perspective now. It's more like, this is what happened. Not like, oh, please, I made a mistake. Can I get a job? Because now I create my own jobs.
Exactly. Right. That's interesting. And then for anybody because I know a few people that have just gotten out of prison recently, and I know there are many people out there that have also. So what are some advice for them specifically? People that are just getting out of, even if it's maybe a short 6-month thing, or maybe if it's a 5-year term, what's some advice for them? What's the most important thing that you could tell them?
First of all, make up your mind that you don't want to go back, and it may sound, well, let's back it up a bit. 1 out of every 3 people in America has an arrest or criminal record.
Really? I didn't know that. So 33%.
You're right. And it's where you may think like, oh, you don't know anybody, or, people always go like, oh, I don't know anybody like that. I go, well, you know me. So that, right there. But more than likely we have somebody in our family or a coworker,
definitely,
who's had that experience. And even if you've just been arrested and not charged, arrested and let go, any of those scenarios, you technically still have a criminal history, and it makes it difficult to get a job. So the idea is, first of all, make up your mind that that's not the life you want to lead. Start thinking about what you want to do, and then go down that path.
Yeah. That's great advice. And then for your TEDx talk that you have coming up, what's the exact day?
It's October 12th, and it's TEDxBocaRaton.com. That's where you can get the tickets. Or if you can't make it to the event, then
it's gonna be online. Or maybe
the
after.
The speech will be online. My talk will be online afterwards. But if you can't make it to the event, definitely click on the link and view the video and share it and like it. So yeah.
And how long's your talk gonna be there?
Actually, it's 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay.
Which, funny thing, we talk about it's shorter than the average speech, because the average speech is 15 to 18 minutes. I get to speak to 5 to 7. But that's the Toastmaster way.
Exactly, yeah.
Right?
Toastmaster, it starts with, 4 to 6 or 5 to 7?
4 to 6 and then 5 to 7. So I can definitely
That's perfect,
speak.
actually. Yeah.
It's kind of like I was being trained.
For this specific speech.
For this specific speech.
Gotcha. Right. And you're going to be talking about,
so here's the thing.
It's for 5 to 7 minutes. You have to get right into it. There's really no setup. There's no really long explanation, and you just have to get into it.
You just got to get into it. Which it's really different. The way how TEDx does their speeches, there's no introduction because somebody's already read your bio. You get out there on stage, you start speaking. Toastmasters or maybe another venue, if you're the keynote speaker, you'd usually say, thank you, so-and-so, and then introduce yourself. Not with TEDx. And there's no thank you at the end or you're welcome. You get in there, you do your intro, you do your points, you close, that's it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I might want to go.
Right.
So where are the tickets again?
You can get the tickets at TEDxBocaRaton.com.
TEDxBocaRaton.com.
Right.
Where can people find you?
They can find me. Oh, I'm all over social media. I'm on Instagram, of course, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and what else is there?
So it's Cece, and then how do people spell your last name?
Okay, my last name, it's Espeut. So that's E as in Edward, S as in Sam, P as in Peter, E as in Edward, U as in Utah, T as in Tom.
And that's on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and do you have a website for your photography business?
I do. It's Cece, C-E-C-E, thephotographer.com.
That's a cool name. I like that. And I actually have a project that we can talk about after the show.
Okay, all right.
It's interesting.
Great.
But yeah, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.